Friends, just think about this. Every single day, you have the same 24 hours that a scientist, a billionaire, or an Olympic athlete has. The difference is not time. The difference is that they know how to use their mind in a very different way. Have you ever wondered how some people stay productive all day without getting tired, while many of us feel exhausted the moment we wake up in the morning? Sometimes it feels like our own mind becomes an obstacle in our path. Some days you feel like giving up everything and just lying in bed. Your task list is long, but your energy is zero. You sit down to focus and distractions start dancing in front of you. Phone notifications, the shine of social media, and that inner restlessness that changes channels every 5 minutes. Now imagine this, a day where you wake up feeling fresh. Your mind works with complete clarity. You finish every task before time without any pressure. And at the end of the day, there is no exhaustion, only satisfaction. A feeling that today you mastered your mind instead of your mind controlling you. This is not a fantasy. This is science. Neuroscience has clearly shown how our brain makes decisions, how it gets trapped in distractions, and how it can be rewired to become highly productive. The only difference is this: we must learn to play by the brain's rules, not against them. Now imagine if you could find the shortcut buttons of your brain, buttons that help you control stress, switch on motivation, and delete laziness. How would your life look then? This journey begins right here, because here you will discover the 8 brain rules that can take your productivity to a completely new level. These rules already exist inside you. You just need to unlock them. But there is a warning. Once you truly understand them, you will never be able to work the old way again. So the question is simple. Are you ready to explore the hidden powers of your own mind? Rule 1. Sleep, the brain's reset button. Do you remember that morning when you woke up without an alarm? Your eyes opened on their own, and from your heart came just one word: wow. Your head felt light, your mind felt calm, your energy was overflowing. It felt as if your brain had completely rebuilt itself. But how often do days like that happen? Maybe once a week, or maybe not even once a month, because most of us treat sleep like a luxury, not a necessity. Work first, sleep later. With this mindset, we waste our nights under the light of mobile screens, and then the next morning arrives. Heavy eyes, a tired mind, and a day that feels incomplete before it even begins. But the truth is this: sleep does not just give rest. Sleep is the reset button of your brain. When you sleep, your brain works silently in the background. It clears useless thoughts, removes stored stress, and pushes away clouds of confusion. It properly stores memories, balances emotions, and sharpens your thinking. Have you ever noticed this? After a full night of good sleep, even small decisions feel easier. Your intuition becomes sharper. You don't feel irritated easily. Your focus stays longer, and most importantly, your motivation feels natural, not forced. Now imagine waking up like this every single day, fresh, clear, full of inner fire. How much would everything change? Your speed, your clarity, your creativity, everything would move to the next level. But here's the problem. We've started multitasking even with sleep. Even while lying in bed, the mind stays active. Netflix keeps playing. Instagram reels keep scrolling. Instead of shutting down, the brain overheats even more, and a silent war begins, a war between your brain and your habits. Now it's time to understand this clearly. Productivity begins in bed. It begins when you tell your brain, rest now, tomorrow you need to fly. When you build this habit, you don't just learn time management, you learn energy management. You learn where to place your attention. Giving priority to sleep means giving your brain the respect it truly deserves, because only a well-rested brain can create the kind of magic that can change lives. So the next time you feel like late-night scrolling, ask yourself a simple question. Is this small theft of sleep going to steal my dreams of tomorrow? Now the decision is yours. Do you want to let your brain rest, or do you want to keep burning it? Rule 2. Exercise. Move your body, sharpen your mind. Sometimes it feels like your mind has become foggy. Every thought moves in slow motion. You try to work, but your attention keeps breaking. You try to read, but the words don't sink in. You talk to someone, but your replies feel mechanical. It feels as if something heavy is sitting inside you. No happiness, no clarity, just a strange kind of dullness. So what do we usually do in this state? We drink more tea or coffee. We increase screen time. We hide inside some other distraction. But deep inside, we already know that the solution is not there. Now imagine this instead. You are in the same mental state, but you go for a simple 20-minute brisk walk, or you do a light workout, a little stretching, a little running. Your breathing becomes faster, your heart starts beating stronger, and suddenly you feel that the fog inside your mind is slowly clearing. One by one, your emotions begin to reset. This is not magic. This is the raw, primal connection between the body and the brain. When your body moves, your mind wakes up. Many people believe that exercise is only for muscles, but the truth is, exercise is fuel for your mind. Every time you sweat, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. These are the chemicals that make you feel happy, motivated, and focused. And this is not just a temporary boost. Regular movement literally changes the structure of your brain. The neurons responsible for focus, memory, and creativity become stronger. You may have noticed this yourself. When you are trying to think of a new idea or solve a difficult problem, thinking while walking works better than sitting still. Movement creates rhythm in your brain, and that rhythm organizes your thoughts. But modern life has made us extremely static. From morning to night, chair, couch, car seat, and finally the bed. Slowly, the energy that wants to find who we were starts fading. Exercise does not mean going to the gym. It means giving oxygen to your brain. It means letting your emotions flow. It means making your body alert enough so that your mind naturally activates. When you tell yourself, today I'll just walk for 10 minutes, those 10 minutes can take you into a world where clarity, confidence, and calmness become your default state. Exercise is the key that opens the doors of productivity. And the most powerful thing about this key is that it is always with you. You just need to turn it every day. So the next time your mind feels dull, your motivation disappears, or a task feels too heavy, ask yourself one simple question. Do I need to sit down, or do I need to get up and move? Because sometimes one small step can shift your entire life. Rule 3. Focus, one task at a time. Have you ever found yourself doing 5 things at once? Your phone in one hand, typing on your laptop with the other, an old conversation replaying in your mind, a YouTube video playing in the background, and on top of that, your mind keeps reminding you that something else is still left to do. Yet at the end of the day, when you finally stop, a question appears. What did I actually do today? And the answer is painful. You tried to do many things, but finished nothing. This is the false comfort of multitasking. You feel like you are managing everything, but in reality, your brain keeps jumping from one task to another every few seconds. And with each jump, your energy breaks a little more. Focus is not a luxury. Focus is a superpower. And every truly successful person in this world has mastered this power. Because when your mind fully locks on to one task, your brainwaves work like a laser beam. You go into depth, creativity explodes, clarity becomes crystal clear, and time feels like it disappears. But the modern world constantly pulls us away from focus. Every beep, every notification, every vibration, they disconnect you from your original thinking. Slowly, your mind becomes addicted to shallow thinking. Short videos, short thoughts, short attention spans, and eventually short success. Now imagine a different day. A day where you focus on just one task, with full dedication, with full presence, no distractions, no unnecessary switching. Just you and that one task, a calm, deep connection. Imagine the quality of that work. Imagine the feeling when you finally lift your head after completing it. This is the power of deep work, where work does not mean just touching a task, but fully immersing yourself in it. Regaining focus is not an impossible task, but it is a conscious decision. You have to teach your mind that not everything is important right now. When you do this, your mind will resist. It will create boredom. It will increase cravings for distraction. But if you stay in that moment, something changes. You enter a new mental space where your mind feels calm and your actions feel powerful. Once you experience this, you start doing more impactful work in less time. And this is the true face of productivity. Not loud, but quiet. Not scattered, but centered. So the next time you are working on something, ask yourself one honest question. Am I truly present in this task? If the answer is no, pause, take a deep breath, and gently return to that one task. Because the moment you give even 1% real focus to one single task, that is where your journey from ordinary to extraordinary begins. Rule 4. Stress. Manage it before it manages you. Sometimes you are sitting quietly. Nothing looks wrong from the outside, but inside, a storm is running. Your breathing becomes faster. Your heart feels restless. Your mind sinks into an unknown fear. There is no clear reason, yet it feels like something bad is about to happen. That is stress. It doesn't show on the outside, but it slowly eats you from within. The most dangerous thing about stress is how quietly it enters your life. It comes slowly, and over time, you get used to living with it. You call it normal pressure. You say, "I'm just busy," or "My mind feels a little off today," and you ignore it. But the truth is this: stress never stays silent. Every day it slows your thinking, weakens your focus, and fills your decisions with fear. Now imagine this. You are working on a task. From the outside, everything looks fine, but inside there is constant anxiety. You judge yourself for every small mistake. You overthink every step. You connect every outcome with failure. What will be the quality of that work? How painful will that journey feel? Stress burns productivity from the inside, and it does not affect only your mind. Your body reacts too. Your sleep gets disturbed, your energy stays low, and slowly you learn to live with exhaustion. But this does not mean that stress cannot be handled. Stress is not your enemy. Stress is a signal. It tells you that something is out of balance, and the moment you learn to listen to this signal, you begin to manage stress instead of ignoring it. The first step is to pause. When you feel restlessness inside, stop everything for a moment. No phone, no conversation. Just connect with yourself. Take one deep breath and ask your mind one simple question. What do you need right now? Sometimes the mind needs space. Sometimes it needs clarity. And sometimes it just needs reassurance that you are not alone. Another powerful way to handle stress is movement. When the body moves, emotions start to flow. Go for a walk, do some stretching, or simply spend a few minutes in open air. Your mind will naturally begin to feel stable. And most importantly, reset your expectations. We expect perfection from ourselves. We put pressure to do everything fast, and under this pressure, we slowly lose ourselves. But remember this: you are not a machine. You are a human. You have emotions. You have limits. And most importantly, you have the capacity to heal. Managing stress means giving your mind the respect it deserves, listening to it, understanding it, and living in cooperation with it. Because if you don't stop stress, one day stress will stop you. So the real question is this: will you allow yourself to move towards burnout, or will you take one small step today towards healing? The decision is yours, and so is your peace. Rule 5. Repeat to remember. Have you ever felt this? You hear something again and again, but when you actually need it, it simply doesn't come to mind. You may have read an important idea, written down an inspiring quote, or learned a useful concept, but when it is time to take action, your mind goes completely blank. Sometimes you think, maybe my memory is weak, but that is not the truth. The truth is this: your brain does not store information just by hearing or seeing it once. It strengthens information through repetition. Your brain works like a muscle. You cannot go to the gym once and build a six-pack. In the same way, you cannot read something once and expect to remember it forever. Real retention comes from repetition. When you hear something again and again, think about it repeatedly, it stops being just information. It becomes a part of your mind. That is why songs you never tried to memorize stay on your tongue, because you repeated them. You heard them, you felt them, you absorbed them. Now imagine applying this same technique to your goals, your learning, and your values. Wouldn't they become a permanent part of who you are? But modern life has one big problem. We consume new things every day, but we don't repeat them. We look for inspiration, but we don't integrate it. You hear a great idea, you feel motivated, and then you swipe to the next video. That is why we stay inspired, but we don't transform. Repetition does not mean boring. Repetition is the language of the brain. When you repeat an idea to yourself, when you read it twice a day, when you write it down, your brain marks it as important, and that is what shapes your habits, influences your decisions, and designs your results. If you want to learn a skill, change an emotion, or develop a mindset, start repeating it daily. In the beginning, it will feel awkward. Your mind will resist, but slowly those new thoughts will settle into your subconscious, and then you will be surprised by how clearly you start thinking, how confidently you start deciding, and how fast you begin to grow. Repetition turns knowledge into memory, and memory into action. So the next time a powerful thought touches your heart, don't let it pass. Hold it, repeat it, absorb it. Because what you think repeatedly eventually becomes your identity. Rule 6. Visuals beat text. Have you ever read a line in a book that made sense at that moment, but a few days later you completely forgot it? And then one day you saw a simple picture that shook you deeply without saying a single word. That is the real power of visuals. Your brain understands images faster than words. It feels them more deeply, and it remembers them longer. When you see an image, your brain absorbs the entire picture in one moment: color, emotion, meaning. Text, on the other hand, requires effort. You have to concentrate. You have to decode meaning. But visuals go directly into the heart and the mind. Now imagine you want to understand a new concept. You have two choices: read a long paragraph or look at an infographic that explains the same idea using colors and shapes. Most people choose the second option. Why? Because it's faster, clearer, and naturally engaging. When learning happens with visuals, it doesn't feel dry. It becomes an experience. That is why children's books are filled with pictures. But as adults, we leave that habit behind, and learning starts to feel boring. Now, think about this. If you want to improve productivity, master a skill, or remember an idea, why not make visuals a part of your thinking? Mind maps, diagrams, color-coded notes, sketching ideas, all of these keep your brain engaged. You don't just think logically, you think imaginatively. And that imagination is the fuel that takes your thinking to the next level. Visuals give clarity, like a path suddenly becoming clear inside heavy fog. When you turn a goal into an image, place it on a vision board, it stops being just a dream. It becomes a visual reality that pulls you forward every day. It inspires you. It reminds you why you started. Visuals are not just seen, they are felt. And when something is felt, it never gets forgotten. So if you want organized thoughts, memorable ideas, and a fresh mind every day, make visuals your closest companion. Because in this fast world where everyone is chasing information, the ones who move ahead are those who learn to visualize it. Now the choice is yours. Do you want to just read life, or do you want to see it, feel it, and make it a part of who you are? Rule 7. Emotions drive action. Whether we accept it or not, our decisions, our goals, and our productivity are not driven by logic. They are driven by emotion. You may have noticed this yourself. When your heart connects to something, you can work on it for hours, even through the night, without feeling tired. But when your heart is not involved, the same task feels heavy. You start delaying it. Every minute feels long. Sometimes we try to push ourselves. Be disciplined. Don't waste time. Don't be lazy. But even then, motivation disappears. Why does this happen? Because logic may be present, but emotion is missing. Emotion is the invisible force that puts fire behind action. If you don't have an emotional connection to a goal, that goal remains just a list item, a task you want to take off, but not truly live. Now think about this. A mother staying awake all night for her child, a soldier risking life for the country, an artist working on the same painting for months. Are they doing this only because of routine? No. There is emotion there. There is deep drive. There is personal meaning. Emotions awaken the sleeping energy inside you. When a task stops being just necessary and starts feeling personal, a different kind of fire rises within, and that fire makes action unstoppable. The problem begins when we plan our work only with logic. I should do this. I need to reach there. But we don't ask ourselves why we want to do it. Every action needs an emotional reason, a reason that touches your heart. Because when the heart is involved, the mind naturally aligns. If you want your mind to break free from distractions, if you want to wake up in the morning feeling inspired, you must understand the emotional connection behind your work. Connect every task to a story. Find an emotion behind every goal. It could be happiness, it could be pain, it could be pride, it could be guilt, or it could be an unfinished dream. Because emotions are the engine that moves the mind. And when your brain works with emotional drive, your productivity stops being mechanical. It becomes magical. So the next time you feel like delaying a task, don't ask yourself, should I do this or not? Ask this instead. What feeling is connected to this work? Because when the reason comes from the heart, action does not stop. Rule 8. The brain needs breaks. Sometimes we expect ourselves to work like machines, without stopping, without getting tired, always moving fast, from morning to night, finishing tasks, ticking goals, showing maximum productivity every day. But the truth is simple. We are not machines. We are human beings. And no matter how powerful your brain is, it has limits. Have you noticed this? When you work for hours without taking a break, there comes a point where your mind feels blank. Your body stays on the chair, but your focus drifts somewhere else. You stare at the screen, but nothing goes inside. A kind of tiredness sits on your mind, not physical, mental. This is the moment your brain sends you a signal. I need some space now. But what do? We feel guilty. If I take a break, I will waste time. So we force ourselves. Just a little more, then I'll rest. But in that little more, we lose energy, focus, and creativity. Taking a break is not weakness. It is a way to recharge productivity. Inside your brain, there are natural rhythms, cycles that last around 90 to 120 minutes. This means your brain can work at peak focus for only a limited time. After that, it needs a reset. If you ignore this reset, You slowly move from high performance to low energy. But when you give your brain short breaks at the right time, your mind becomes sharp again. 5 to 10 minutes. Close your eyes, take a short walk, breathe deeply. These small actions give silent power to your brain. And then the same mind that felt slow earlier starts working with double clarity and speed. Breaks do not push you backward, they give you the strength to bounce back. But this is possible only when you take breaks with awareness, not guilt. Your mind works for you all day. It solves complex problems. It handles emotions. It maintains focus. Doesn't it deserve a little rest too? Sometimes the most productive act is doing nothing, just pausing, and in that pause, finding yourself again. Because when you give your mind space, it gives you answers that non-stop hustle never can. So the next time your mind feels tired and your heart says, "Let me pause for a moment," pause, quietly, without guilt, with respect. Because that pause is the point from where your real speed begins again. Conclusion: unlocking your brain's power. When you started this video, you may have wanted just one thing: to work more, feel less tired, and get faster results. But now you have completed a journey where you didn't just learn about productivity, you understood the true power of your brain. You learned that sleep is not just a habit, but a source of mental renewal, that moving the body sharpens the mind, that focusing on one task is the real strength, that stress must be understood, not suppressed, that repetition, visuals, and emotions can turn your brain into a creative engine, and that a small break can be the beginning of your biggest breakthrough. These 8 brain rules are not boring theories. They are silent weapons you can use in your daily life, weapons that can take you from ordinary to extraordinary. But now comes the final question. Will you just listen to these rules and move on, or will you start living them? Because action is what turns knowledge into power. The decision is in your hands. If you found this video valuable, don't let it end here. Leave a comment below and tell us which of these 8 brain rules will have the biggest impact on your life. And if you want to discover more powerful secrets hidden inside life-changing books, subscribe to the channel now. Press the bell icon so you never miss the next mind-shifting video. And share this video with people who want to become a little better every single day. Always remember this: your mind is your greatest asset. You just need to learn how to use it the right way. We'll meet again in the next video with another life-transforming book. Thank you.